All right, my friend, welcome in. It's day 6 here in our 40-day walk through Abraham's life of faith. We're out here on the hunt for clues on what it takes to have and maintain a friendship with God through the life of Abraham. And today, well, it's all about location. Lot, Abraham's nephew, moves into the beautiful Jordan Valley. Meanwhile, Abraham settles in the scrappy Canaan mountains and also has a very reassuring conversation with God. That's what's happening today. We're here to read and react to Genesis 13, 10 through 18 here on day 6. I've got my reading guide open right here, ready and anxious to dive in with you. But first, if you haven't had a chance to read, now's your time to pause the video right here, get that reading, get your highlighters. I got mine here. We will read and react together. First you read, then we'll react, okay? So go ahead and hit pause now. Did you hit pause? Did you read? All right, I'm gonna take that as a yes, and we're gonna move on here. And things are getting interesting for us here as we look at this moment in the story that's giving us great contrast and amazing foreshadowing of what's ahead in Abraham's story. This is one of these episodes where you probably know what's coming, and even what it said today, I don't know if you noticed it, we got a few clues, we got some foreshadowing, which I really love. Great storytelling and great insights into Abraham's life of faith today. Another great day for Abraham, and I'm thankful for his example. So we're going to go ahead and dive in. First, let me give you my green, yellow, reds, my GYR, and then you take the opportunity to put yours down as well, okay? So I'll grab my highlighter here. I'm going to start with my red highlight for today. And in today's reading, of course, we have Lot moving into the Jordan Valley here. That's this section. Then we have over here God's promise to Abram. And then finally here, Abram makes his move. My red moment for today, this may surprise you a little bit because you're like, wait, it's God's promise. This is great. But I'll be honest, as I read this today, this part has me seeing red a little bit. All right, let me explain myself. So this moment here, it's great that the Lord came to Abraham after Lot had gone. He probably needed the encouragement after it feels like Lot got the better end of the deal today. God comes in here to restate and expand and elaborate on the promise he gave to Abram a couple of days ago, back when he left Ur. But here's where my red highlight comes in today. The Lord says, look as far as you can see in every direction, north, south, east, west. I picture what yesterday's picture of standing there near AI there, and being able to look out across the big Jordan Valley and then the Canaan mountains and look all around, right? And it's at somewhere around that location that the Lord makes this statement to Abraham. You know, look as far as you can see. He's up on a high point. He can see far, north, south, east, west. And the Lord says, here's my red highlight. I am giving you all this land. I will give you so many descendants, like the dust of the earth, they cannot be counted. And he goes back once again. He says, go walk through the land in every direction, for I am giving it to you. Now, once again, I know you're thinking, wait a minute, that's not right. What's Owen's deal? This is a good moment. Let me tell you this, all right, let's get real. This is a good future moment. It is not a great moment right now, okay? And that's what I'm saying. For Abraham, yeah, these are amazing promises, but they're all in the future. Lot gets what he wants right now. He gets the good land. He's got, going to be doing brisk business out there at Sodom and these, 4 other cities. Business is booming. And then Abram's like, I'm out here in the scraggly old mountains that couldn't sustain the life of all of our flocks. What's that going to mean for Abram's future? And then how in the world are all these descendants that he's going to have make a go of it out here if he can't even feed his, old flocks and herds? He's scrapping right now. So yeah, for at this point in the story, Abraham gets to go live under some scraggly old trees. Lot gets to settle down. Abraham, has to wander and hope and dream. Great promise. But I got it highlighted red because I'm like, all of this is future. And that, if I'm Abraham, that bothers me. And I'll be honest, it brings up for me how much of this life of faith that we hope to live with God depends on future hope. You know what I'm saying? And right now, I'm feeling Abraham, right? I'm feeling like a wanderer more days than I feel like a settler. And I'm watching all the lots out here get theirs. And I'm like, well, God, and I don't, it's like I don't trust it. That I don't trust, it's not like I don't trust God's promise. I'm just saying right now, it's hope. It's not in hand. And that creates a lot of tension for me. And don't tell me that I'm the only one. All right. So, hey, I'm being honest with you. There's my red. Now let's talk my yellow for a second. My yellow highlight meaning, this is something that, it makes me pause, makes me think a little bit. I need to think a little more about this. And I'm thinking about this statement about Lot right here where it says, Lot took a long look. Right here. He evaluated, he assessed the situation. He took a long look. Oh, but man, he did not see everything, did he? His evaluation of the opportunity in front of him, the land stretching out there, well watered. Abraham's giving him the first choice. He missed a couple of key metrics. We got water, we got cities, but then, as we read today, well, there's a few other factors, that are the foreshadowing moments. Something about, well, there's, the Lord's going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Isn't that a fun foreshadow? Which, by the way, fun aside, this tells us that the original audience for the book of Genesis is not from the time that it's occurring, because the narrator of Genesis, if you will, the one telling us the story, knows some things about the future that Lot doesn't know, which of course makes for great foreshadowing. So that's not good. And then down here, another key evaluation is the neighborhood. And who is going to be living in there. And so, the people of this area were extremely wicked, constantly sinned against the Lord. Of course now, Sodom and all Gomorrah, like it's famous for, or infamous for this exact reason. But, this is something, maybe did Lot not know? Or did Lot not take it into consideration? But, as he's evaluating where to go, he missed some things. And I'm like, and they seem like they're very important things. By the way, it's worth pointing out here really quick. Extremely wicked, this term right here, right? In the Hebrew, wicked here, this means, it means like malignant or cancerous is what that means. So this is like, and the idea here is that it's people who are rebels against God, right? And not just in a way that's like festering over there on its own. It's like a cancer that's looking to spread, right? Malignant. That's the idea. Like it's not just bad neighbor. These are like people who are intentionally seeking out ways to bring harm to others in their project of being being total rebels against God and just sending it against God. Which, another interesting side note, they are sinning against the Lord, even if I bet they don't really acknowledge that he's the Lord. You know what I'm saying? This is Yahweh God, the creator God. And even if people don't acknowledge that he is the creator God, he does get to set the rules, even if they don't really care or acknowledge that, he still does. And so we're going to see how that dynamic plays out in a little bit. So long story short, there's my yellow. Lots looking, but apparently how he wants to evaluate things is missing some key metrics. And then my green, this moment, come on, like I said, I'm out here highlighting this promise red. I feel tension here. And but even so, here's my green. Abram, it says, our man Abraham moved, and then he built another altar to the Lord. Oh, and I love that. While lots new neighbors are, big time fancy and also big time cancerous, rebelling against God with a purpose, Here's Abraham simply, quietly stacking dusty stones as a monument to himself and his people, that they will and will continue to trust God and make their relationship with him a trademark of their lives. That's what you're doing when you build an altar. You're like, it's a monument, it's a reminder, it's a promise. This is going to be, this relationship with God is going to be something that defines us. It's going to be how we're known. And I just love that. Even when at this part of the story, today's episode, man, it feels like Abram and his part of the family have to take the L to take the path of obedience to God. They're doing it. They're doing it. And he's stacking up stones to build another altar, while Lot and his part of the family are building, a business in a neighborhood they may not want to be in. Abraham is quietly walking out his life of faith and friendship with God. I love that. I love that. Okay, so what about you? Those are my green, yellow, reds. What about yours? Find your highlights, drop them here in your reading guide, and then we'll circle back in a little bit after you go ahead and read, reflect, and respond a little bit. I'll be there to come back to you with a few additional thoughts and insights for today.